Guess who's interested in raising the minimum wage? Some people who you wouldn't really think would ever be in favor of it. The list might surprise you here. Huffington Post put this together. So first of all, there's a guy named Ron Unz, who is a Silicon Valley multimillionaire and a former publisher of the American Conservative, which is, of course, a right-wing magazine. And he wants to raise the wage, which is surprising enough. In fact, he said, quote, "Critics of a rise in the minimum wage argue that jobs would be destroyed, and in some cases, they're probably correct. But many of those threatened jobs are exactly the ones that should have no place in an affluent, developed society like the United States, which should not attempt to compete with Mexico or India in low-wage industries." I always have problems saying this name, man, and it is a hard name to say. Phyllis Schlafly is a conservative activist. She's one of the biggest haters. I don't know how to say this properly. The biggest criticizers of feminism. And she said, quote, "Legislation to raise the minimum wage would elevate many low-wage earners above the income threshold that qualifies them for benefits and should result in reduced welfare spending. That's a trade-off Republicans could support." Now, in this respect, I respect her for saying this, because she's actually being true to this conservative principle of I want smaller government. What she doesn't realize is that the Republicans don't give a goddamn about smaller government. They just care about what their donors want, what the corporations want. And the corporations want the government to have to come in and do Medicaid and do food stamps and have a social safety net to take care of these low-wage workers, because they don't want to pay any more than $7.25 an hour. And if they have to pay $12 an hour, which is a living wage, yeah, the government would shrink. But the Republicans don't care about shrinking the government. They care about doing what the rich corporate owners want them to do. Also, we have a 2013 poll by the Small Business Majority that found that 2/3 of small business owners want to raise the wage. And most of them, by the way, already pay more than the minimum wage, because people have this backwards thought about small businesses that, well, I guess they pay low wages, right? Some of them do, but not nearly as many as actually the huge corporations. They're the ones who pay worse. So this idea that, the small businesses won't be able to handle it if you raise the minimum wage, even they are telling you, yeah, dude, we can handle it and you should raise the minimum wage because these people can't live on what other people are paying them. Also, the Economic Policy Institute released a letter last week with 75 economists urging a wage increase. 75 economists. And of course, I would venture to say that probably way more than that are in favor of raising the minimum wage, because there's been study after study that's been released in the past 3 years that show that it's a tremendous net benefit for the economy. Because what you have is finally poor people that have more purchasing power. They're going to spend all the money that they get in that wage hike, they're going to spend immediately, which means that they're going to purchase goods, which means that demand is going to increase. When demand increases, more jobs are created. So it would be a net benefit. And also, a 2013 Gallup poll found that even 58% of Republicans want to raise the wage. The only people that are against it are the establishment Republicans and some establishment Democrats, because they're the ones that are just simply representing the mega corporations, who are the only ones that really don't want to raise it. Okay, you have a majority of independents, Democrats, and Republicans, and we're still not getting the policy in a democracy. Why is that? Because they don't represent us, they represent those corporations. And finally, you're not going to believe this. Listen to who's in favor of raising the wage.
The poll shows that 2/3 of Americans want the minimum wage upped. Right. Since only 6% of American workers get minimum wage, I say fine, up it. I don't think it's a big deal. And you say?
I say it depends on how much you up it.
$10.
Well, $10 or
$10 is minimum wage in this country.
That's what we're talking about. $10.10 an hour. The president started with $9. He got shamed by.
$10 is okay with me.
It's fine with you, but it's going to be tough for a lot of folks in running small businesses.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I have to say this: if it's a small incremental increase, it'll be all right. But let's talk.
I'm willing to pay, and I have means, so I know this is. But I think Americans in general would be willing to pay a few more cents for products to up it to $10. Again, it's only 6%.
I believe hell has just frozen over. Even Bill O'Reilly is in favor of raising the minimum wage. Okay, when you can get agreement with people like myself and Bill O'Reilly, I believe it's time to raise the minimum wage.